some of the most unforgettable lines in movie history were never even written down. That's right, some of the quotes we all know, love, and constantly repeat weren't part of the original script at all.
You landed on McLovin.
Yeah, it was between that and Muhammad.
Why the fuck would it be between that or Muhammad?
They were completely unscripted, spontaneous, and in some cases, total accidents. Whether it was an actor's last-minute improvisation, an on-set mishap, or just a stroke of genius in the moment, these unplanned lines have become legendary. From intense one-liners that defined entire characters to heart-wrenching moments that left directors speechless, Hollywood has a history of capturing lightning in a bottle. Imagine the famous,
"You talking to me? You talking to me? You talking to me?"
"You talking to me" scene from Taxi Driver. That wasn't in the script. Robert De Niro made it up on the spot. Or Jaws, where a casual, off-the-cuff remark turned into one of the most chilling lines in film history. So, what are some of the most famous, spine-tingling, and legendary unscripted lines that took Hollywood by storm? Get ready, because we're about to dive into the most jaw-dropping movie moments that were never meant to happen, but became iconic anyway. Let's get into it. One of the most terrifying moments in horror history happened purely by accident. During the infamous axe scene in The Shining, Jack Nicholson was supposed to simply break through the bathroom door and terrorize Shelley Duvall's character. But instead, Nicholson, channeling his inner madness, decided to quote Ed McMahon's famous introduction from The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson.
"Here's Johnny!"
"Here's Johnny!" he yelled, eyes wild, grin maniacal. Director Stanley Kubrick loved it so much he kept it in, and the line became the stuff of nightmares. Dustin Hoffman's frustrated outburst in Midnight Cowboy wasn't acting, it was real. During the scene, Hoffman's character, Ratso Rizzo, was supposed to casually walk across the street with John Voight.
Hey! I'm walking here! I'm walking here! Up yours, you son of a bitch! You don't talk to me that way! Get out of here!
But as they filmed in real New York City traffic, an actual taxi nearly ran Hoffman over. Without breaking character, he slammed his hand on the hood and yelled, "I'm walking here!" The moment was completely unplanned, but it was so perfect and so raw that it stayed in the final cut. To this day, it remains one of the most iconic lines in movie history. Roy Scheider's reaction to seeing the monstrous great white shark for the first time was a pure, unscripted stroke of brilliance. The line, "You're gonna need a bigger boat," wasn't originally in the script.
"You're gonna need a bigger boat."
It was actually an inside joke on set. The crew had been complaining for weeks that production was running on a tight budget. And whenever something went wrong, someone would sarcastically say, "We're gonna need a bigger boat." When Scheider saw the mechanical shark lunge out of the water, he instinctively delivered the line, and it became one of the greatest moments in cinematic history.
"My father was a drinker. So, me watching, he takes the knife to her, laughing while he does it. He turns to me and he says, 'Why so serious?'"
Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker in The Dark Knight was nothing short of mesmerizing, and his ability to improvise within scenes made his version of the clown prince of crime one of the most haunting in cinematic history. Among his many unforgettable moments, the chilling delivery of "Why so serious?" stands out as one of the most iconic lines ever spoken on screen. But what makes this moment so legendary isn't just the words themselves. It's how Ledger transformed them into something deeply disturbing, something that perfectly encapsulated the Joker's twisted nature. The scene in question is the one where the Joker confronts Gamble, a Gotham crime boss, in a dimly lit room filled with his henchmen. After staging a fake death, the Joker suddenly rises, grabs a knife, and forces it against Gamble's cheek. The script initially had the Joker delivering a standard menacing threat, but Ledger took it to another level. Instead of merely intimidating his victim with words, he slowed down his speech, softened his voice, and leaned in dangerously close, making the moment unbearably tense. Why so serious? Forever tied to Ledger's groundbreaking performance. it wasn't just a catchphrase. It was a symbol of everything the Joker stood for: anarchy, terror, and the unpredictable nature of true madness. To this day, one of the most casually cold-blooded lines in The Godfather wasn't in the original script at all. The scene follows a mob hit carried out by Clemenza, a trusted enforcer of the Corleone family. After executing Paulie Gatto, the driver who betrayed the family, Clemenza and his associate prepare to leave the scene. The script originally had Clemenza saying only, "Leave the gun," ensuring that no evidence was left behind.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
But actor Richard Castellano, who played Clemenza, decided to add his own touch, throwing in "take the cannoli" as a nod to an earlier scene where his wife reminded him to bring home dessert. What makes this line so brilliant is the way it effortlessly blends humor with ruthless violence. The murder itself is cold and calculated, yet Clemenza's casual remark about the cannoli makes it feel almost like a routine errand. This is the world of The Godfather, where life and death are decided in the same breath as a dinner order. Castellano's off-the-cuff addition transformed what was meant to be a simple exit line into one of the most memorable moments in mafia movie history. The brilliance of this improvised line lies in its subtlety. It tells the audience everything they need to know about these characters without needing a long explanation. To Clemenza, killing a man is just another part of business. But food? That's something that still matters. It perfectly encapsulates the blending of crime and culture in the mafia world, where family, food, and loyalty are just as important as power and violence. Over the years, "Leave the gun, take the cannoli" has become a pop culture phenomenon quoted in everything from TV shows to real-life political discussions. It's the kind of line that sticks with audiences not just because it's clever, but because it paints a vivid picture of the mobster mindset, where life goes on even after a murder, and good food is never wasted. This small moment of improvisation turned into one of The Godfather's most quoted lines, proving once again that sometimes the best cinematic moments happen in the heat of the moment.